Hello YouTube, Salivate Metal here. Have a little bit of a cold, so you'll have to excuse my voice. But then again, you've always had to excuse my voice. With that being said, the news of the day is quite interesting. Probably the worst day, according to the media, of the Trump presidency. And the worst day for the stock market. It has shed 370 points. Worst day this year. But a relatively good day for precious metals, especially gold. We're going to talk about all three of those. First, about Donald Trump and how the Trump presidency will affect precious metals in the long run. But, you know, Trump is a flawed person. He wasn't my first pick for president on the Republican side, although I do consider myself, full disclosure, those of you who know me know that I am a constitutional conservative. And but by and large, Trump, as being a flawed person, I think has done relatively well considering, and has actually been surprisingly well beyond his first 100 days in office. And he is an untraditional candidate. He was an untraditional candidate and an untraditional president. And certainly he has made mistakes and will make mistakes. Some of them are worthy of condemnation or criticism. Even partisan criticism is understandable and to be expected. And I am for the freedom of the press. But the problem is the double standard is becoming so obvious and apparent that it is gone to a level that we've not seen before in American politics, in the media, as far as television, radio, and print media. When you have a media that are basing stories off of supposed memos and word of mouth, talking about impeachment being raised on the floor of the House, and making stories about what could have happened or impugning motive, as opposed to overlooking and passing on the trading of weapons being used to kill border agents, or the gross negligence or the purposeful negligence of the people on the ground on a terrorist attack that occurred for 8 hours straight, and we're told to stand down. Or when you have a media who overlooks the purposeful targeting of nonprofit groups that have a conservative cause by the IRS, or when you have a media that overlooks so many things that are much worse with regards to hiding of evidence, covering up evidence, gross negligence with email servers, and corruption with selling uranium to the Russians, and no evidence whatsoever when there's a Republican in the White House. Now, make no mistake, Trump is a placeholder. It could have been Ted Cruz. It could have been John Kasich. It could have been John McCain, who was the maverick media darling. You know, in this article here, McCain is already coming out saying it's as big as Watergate. Well, if John McCain was in office right now, they'd be going after him with the same fervor as they are going after Donald Trump. And so it's just the double standard is growing tiresome, and I'm hoping that the American public will see through it. Dennis Kucinich, a former Democrat mayor of Cleveland and a presidential candidate, sees through it. Because of all these leaks, the stuff is coming through from the intelligence community. And this is where all this stuff is stemming from. So it's coming from within, and these are placeholders that were in the Obama administration. But with that being said, you have a complicit media in conjunction with Democrats and the Democrat organization coming after this president. And again, I'm not fully, taking up for defending the president per se, but I will tell you this, that what Donald Trump is doing and what he's done during the campaign, I am championing and applauding, because it reminds me of this picture. And this is what I think of when I think of Donald Trump. And this is why I'm a huge supporter of Donald Trump and how he deals with the media. This right here sums it up. And that's exactly what we should be doing, because it's about time someone stood up against big media in this country, the lamestream media. And this is how you do it. And hopefully it will backfire on them, all these attacks, the seriousness of the charge weighing down. And now that we have someone in president who's actually fighting back as opposed to George W. Bush, that's good. So there's that. We'll let that go. The media is powerful, or they are powerful. Make no mistake, he understands it. But Donald Trump himself is media savvy as well. And he's not stupid. And everyone knows that. So he may have some tricks up his sleeves. So we shall see how it pulls out. He's got Twitter and Facebook and other social media from which to use. He's got to be smart about it. He's got to be savvy about it. He's made some mistakes there. So let's hope that he will use it to the advantage if he's doing the right thing. And that's the thing. We got to make sure, no man is faultless. And again, he's been worthy of some of the criticism. With that being said, the Dow has reacted to the media reports of the day, and we see this falling of the Dow. 370 points sounds like a lot, but when you have a bloated stock market, and the Dow and the S&P and the like, it's not that big of a drop. But it has affected gold and silver prices, which is kind of the lagging indicator. When you have uncertainty in the markets, it affects the price of the dollar, oil, and all the commodities. And gold is included there. So there you have it. So now what will happen in the coming days? Well, we could see it recover. It could recover just as quickly as we've seen it wane. And gold and silver could go back down. Or if there's some merit to some of these charges, and they can substantiate some of these charges, well, then I think you will see some uncertainty continue. And we may see these prices go up in the precious metals, because that's the safe haven. People see gold and silver as safe havens in times of economic hardship or turmoil. And so that's kind of where we're at. And we shall see how it plays out from here on out. It's by no means a crisis level point for sure, but it just goes to show you that in times like these, when gold and silver goes up, it gives us confidence, for those of us who hold these metals, that we're doing the right thing, because that's what they're for. They're a savings account for times, not only for your own personal savings, but when you hold the precious metals, it saves you from economic turmoil and hardship. So where things go from here is anybody's guess. We still have all the same problems we've had before. The uncertainty in the markets is mainly due to the fear that Donald Trump will not be able to commit his agenda, because he'll lose support from Republicans as well as Democrats. And make no mistake, there are a lot of wimpy Republicans out there who will fold at the drop of a hat if there's ever any trouble in the White House, even if it's not substantiated, because they're spineless. So we shall see what they do, and I think that's what the media is trying to do, is to try to draw support away so that his agenda can't be passed. But a lot of his agenda will be good for America, especially tax cuts, pro-business policies, and the overhaul of and overturning of Obamacare. We'll see how it all plays out. It's going to be a long, rough, tough fight these next 4 years. Regardless, the media will be unrelentless in pursuing Donald Trump and the agenda that he is pushing for. So, and gold and silver will wane and fall. It'll rise and lower the prices over this time. And all we can do is watch it go And then, there's the elephant in the room, no pun intended, of the overall world economy. The debt is still there. It's not been, it's not really been taken down much at all, because really there's not been policies. The budgets haven't been approved yet and the like. We've had a continuing resolution, but really there's been no budget that has been passed. And Trump wants to do this $1 trillion infrastructure spending, which is going to cause the deficits and the debt to go up. So we still have that, and we still have many other things that make this economy fragile. And sooner or later, it's going to have to be dealt with in some form or another. So stay tuned. It's going to be an interesting ride throughout 2017. Post your thoughts below. I'd like to extend the multitude of gratitude y'all for watching and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.